Welcome back to my channel. It's Rene Marcus. Thank you so very much for tuning in. And if you're new to my channel, please do me that favor and press that subscribe button. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So, guys, today I've got my beautiful sister Rohi Sanneh, right from the Gambia, and I've just got a few questions that I need to ask her, get to know her a little bit more, and also I want her to answer some of my questions that most of my subscribers have been asking. Some people just don't know whether to ask these questions or not. So rather you thinking, should I ask this question or not? Well, Rene is here to give it all to you. So the best person to actually speak to, it's Rohi, because she lives in the Gambia. She knows the current situation. She knows exactly what's been going on in the country more than I do. So I decided to invite her over to my channel so that she can basically just exchange ideas and also teachers as well. Especially for people that want to repatriate back to the motherland, Gambia specifically. So what I'm going to do now is just let Rohi to introduce herself, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, thank you so much, Rene. And to all the people watching this, I would love to say kindly subscribe to her channel because she's doing wonders. And okay, to come back, my name is Rohi Sanneh. I am currently in the Gambia, and I am a Gambian for that matter. I am a student of the Gambia College, undergoing my advanced diploma secondary. So that is that.
Okay. So which school did you go to from primary?
Okay, I did my primary certificate in Pirang Basic Cycle School and my junior certificate at C4 Upper End Senior Secondary School, and I completed my secondary school at Penyam Technical Upper End Senior Secondary School.
Okay. Oh wow. So were those schools all public schools or private?
Oh, they were all public schools.
Okay. Perfect. So can you tell me a bit more about public school, your experience?
Okay, my experience in school at large as a student who has undergone, it's not an easy journey, it's not an easy moment, and it's never an easy task. Because there's so many constraints that you will face, and if you're not big strong to overcome all those constraints, it's always very difficult to bear the situations that you have to undergo. But then to say it is never an easy experience, but then I was able to overcome them.
Okay. So what was one of the challenges or some of the challenges you've actually been through going to a public school?
Okay, there's so many challenge, but like one of the main challenge that I've been through, and that is to say, sometimes when it comes to the distance of the school, when it comes to you, like the teachers available in the schools, because sometimes there are moments that you have scarcity of teachers, and there are moments also you don't have scarcity of teachers, but you have teachers, but they will not deliver up to expectation. More especially, we always feel that when we have foreign teachers, to cope with them, it's always difficult for us, and which is the hard fact. Because when most, like, I can remember one of my challenge that I once had was like my grade 10. We had some management teachers and accounting teachers, but then it was very hard to cope with them, because you have this lecture, like this teacher today, how he delivers, instead of delivering to expectation, most of the thing that they will want to tell us is like they have this in their country, is that and that. So it obviously makes us frustrated and think that, are these foreign teachers here to teach us or to tell us what they have been through? And if that happened and we lodge complaints to our head, they also take steps. And if they take those steps, that is to say, to change those teachers. If you bring in another teacher also, it's very hard for us to cope to an extent of getting to that point that we wanted to. So like getting foreign teachers sometimes give us a lot of challenge when it comes to coping with them, because instead of delivering to expectation, they deviate and tell us about themselves.
Okay, that is actually shocking to say. So you're trying to say that in most public schools, they have more foreign teachers than home-based teachers. Let's say Gambian teachers, basically.
Yeah, though for now, like we're having more of Gambian teachers because now, right now, when you look at the current issues, most of the people that are going for their teaching practice, as myself, when I've been there, I've seen lesser foreign teachers. But when I was going to school, I encounter so many difficulties with these foreign teachers when they come. But then now the situations have changed because we're having more of our own, own Gambian teachers than foreign teachers, and that is what we want.
That's really good. So, which means that when you were in school, you used to basically have these challenges when you guys have a foreign teacher instead of that specific teacher to teach you a specific subject. They will be
Yeah,
telling you stories about their countries back home, but
honestly.
that has nothing to do with the subject.
It has to do with the subject because if we are to cover this particular syllabus, for instance, let's say, let me take myself as an example. I am supposed to cover this syllabus with my students, and instead of teaching them like every day that I come to class, I will be telling you, for instance, I said in Ghana they are this thing, or I said in Nigeria they are this thing, or I said in Sierra Leone they are this thing. So instead of you, though there are certain things that should be discussed, so as your students will be inspired, your students will be moved, and they will have the zeal to come to your class all the time or regularly. But then if we overdo those kind of issues, it affects us because I've been through that circumstance. I've been through it, whether whereby my teacher would not be teaching properly, instead to be telling us all the time, to an extent that we even have to report him to the principal. So you see, it disturbs our own subjects.
Okay, so does this actually happen to most public schools in the Gambia, or was it just your school, or have you had other people complain about the same thing?
Yeah, there are people that complain of the same thing. There are people who really complain of the same thing. And sometimes, because that was a coincidence that once happened, I was with one individual and we were talking, and eventually we were talking about teachers. And he started to talk about one foreign teacher. I also talked about the same thing, and it happened to be the same individual, and it's not even in the same school.
So, do you think that the teachers are actually being trained exactly on what they should be doing while they're in class? Or if you can just explain that a little bit, because I think you mentioned that you did went through some training in regards to teaching.
Yeah, we have been trained because currently I am undergoing my advanced diploma secondary at the Gambia College School of Education. And Gambia College School of Education, we all know Gambia College at large, it trains people, to become teachers, to become agriculturists, to become nurses, doctors, public health officers, different aspect. I can say all the aspect of national development is under the chamber of the Gambia College because it trains us. And when we go to the teaching fraternity, I as an individual, that is the course that I am doing, that is School of Education, and we normally go on our postings. But then, to be frank, like we are always being taught about the method to use in teaching. We're always being taught about these skills and how we can utilize those skills when it comes to classroom issues. So we are being taught personally
Okay.
at the college.
So, you being on that sit now to actually being trained on how to be a teacher. So, going back to when you were a student, do you think those teachers were actually using some of those skills or all of those skills on their
Some of
students?
some of them were not using it. Some of those people were not using the teaching methodologies that they were taught. And not most of the teachers have been through the Gambia College. But then if you see any Gambia College teacher, there are many times that you will know that this guy is really a college teacher. But there are people who has also not been to the college, but still now they can teach. They have teaching strategies, they have teaching methodologies. So some of them that have taught me, they have teaching methodologies that they have used, but some of them do not have it actually.
Okay. So, how long does the training takes place in order to basically be qualified to be a teacher in the Gambia?
Okay, if you go to the Gambia College, because the Gambia College has advanced diploma primary, and advanced diploma secondary. That is PTC and HTC. We have different aspects. But then if you're doing advanced diploma secondary, the one I am undergoing through right now, it is 3 years. We've been taught for 3 years to get the qualification of being a teacher.
That's great. So, you have talked about Gambia College a lot. So I'm just going to ask you because I've heard about Gambia College, but I don't know nothing about Gambia College. So can you just tell me, you've mentioned the courses that they actually do. So can you just explain a bit more about the college, your experience, the resources, whether it's actually fit to be a college?
Yeah, exactly. To begin from where you ended is whether it is actually fit to be a college. Yes, I would say yes, it is actually fit to be a college. And when you said about to know more of the Gambia College, though we have so many constraints when it comes to tertiary level and taking the college as an example, because from grade 12 most of us want to further our education either to the university, either to the college, either to GTI or some other tertiary institution. But then if you come to the Gambia College, it is a tertiary institution that teaches people or trains people to become teachers, to become doctors, to become public health officers, to become agriculturists. Just as I said before, all aspect of national development is under the chamber of the Gambia College. And honestly, if you go through the Gambia College and go through all the problems and all the challenges and you are able to overcome all of them, at the end, wherever you stand, people will realize that this is a product or this individual is a product of the Gambia College. And when it comes to the courses, like we have different courses in the Gambia College, because when you even ask about whether those teachers they have gone through some teaching methodologies, perhaps some of them were not college students, but like every student of the Gambia College doing advanced diploma secondary, or sorry, doing school of education, you have to go through all teaching methodologies. And not only going through them, but when you're posted to your schools, because we are both trained and also that is practical, because you are not only trained till at the end you said you're going to teach.
I'm just going to cut you there. I was going to ask you that actually in regards to practical, whether, but then you've just mentioned that you guys also do practical. I will also ask you how does the practical works, because I really want to know, because I didn't think that Gambia, well, in regards to the education system, there's more. Let's say there's a lot of practicals going on, as I just thought maybe it's just sitting in a classroom and teachers basically teaching you, and then at the end of the day that student is out there left alone, have no idea what to do once graduation. So, and you are the right person to make that clear for me so that I understand exactly how the process works in regards to being in school or going in college, and how the practical works and what impact does it have in you once you've actually completed your studies. So yes, you can carry
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, it plays a great impact, in fact a great positive impact for that matter, because if you have gone through the Gambia College School of Education, which is basically on teaching aspect, but not only teaching, because you can divert and do anything that you want to do. But then I believe that teaching is a stepping stone. It teaches us to know many things, and it also pushes us to be at least to be socializing with people all around. So when it comes to the teaching practice, the Gambia College offers students to train there and as well as to go on the practice. And that practice is what we call as the postings. All the 3 years, like every year, there must be a time that you will go for the teaching practice. And when you go, you are not left alone. Some of the lecturers will come for observation and they will mark you, and that mark is going to be part of your attestation. And I believe there is no student who want to fail, and obviously then you try to utilize all the methods that have been taught to you by the lecturers in the Gambia College to the students that you go and meet, because those students were just like you were students, though you senior them, but you were once in their shoe, being in the class and teachers teaching you. And like just as I said, as the way I felt when teachers teach me, more especially that lecturer who sorry, that teacher whom I do not understand about, who will always be telling us about himself, about his country, instead of teaching us, you will feel that this is what I've been through and I don't want the same thing to be impacted in the lives of my younger sisters or my elder sisters, because we teach people in schools who are obviously older than we. then, and if we go, we have different methods of teaching. We do practical also, because teaching have different ways of understanding, and students have different aspect of understanding. And sometimes even you don't go outside the class, but even within the class, there are some methods that can be practicalized, so our students will be familiar to what they're doing, and they will love what they're doing as well as understand it very well. Because now we are moving from this concept of cramming, because the habit of we Gambian students, we love to cram, and cramming is obviously not the best way to help us in term of education, but then understanding. And for students to understand what they're doing, you as a teacher have to come in different dimensions. There are students who don't
Like
understand
that.
teachers directly. There are students who do not understand teachers directly, but they understand their fellow students. So if you use a method of either dividing your class into various groups, and whereby each group is given a topic, the other student is teaching himself or herself and the other students or his fellow students as well, and which whereby his fellow student will even have the courage to ask him questions, because there are some students who feel maybe reluctant or shy to say, if I ask this teacher, he may bully me or
I
he
will
will not,
cut you off
respect.
there because, sorry, in regards to students being shy, that is absolutely true. And I like the fact that you're basically explaining when it comes to teaching your own students, you should actually understand your students, each individual. You need to know their needs and you need to make sure that you meet them so that they will be able to be successful in your class. And you need to understand them individually. So doing that, let's say, the mini groups that you've mentioned, to basically get the students involved in little groups, it's really good because then they will get to interact, share ideas together, and also the teacher going around to ask each student, like, or each group, that will also help the teacher with the student to actually interact. So me growing up in the Gambia, to be honest, I have not, like, all of this that you've just explained, I have not experienced it in regards to teachers understanding my needs, because I've been through a lot in school, because maths was my biggest weakness. And
Yeah.
I just felt so stupid when it comes to my maths lessons. And my teacher never used to care. When I used to take my book to him so that he can mark it, he will just put like a big massive 0, which makes me feel so stupid and say, that's it, I can never do maths and I will never do maths. And that has affected me up to today. Maths has always been my weakness. So when I think about things like that, I'm like, no, maths, it's a no-go. But maybe with the skills that and with the techniques that you're actually telling me, if teachers are actually doing that with every single class of theirs, trust me, these students will be brilliant after school.
Sure. Honestly.
You can
Yeah,
go
just
ahead.
as
I
you
just
say,
wanted to mention that.
honestly, yeah, it is not easy to be teaching students, and when you exactly react, because sometimes you teach them and you know that this individual don't understand, and then obviously you as a teacher have to change your way of teaching, because you should have some time to even ask your students, what are my problems, what are the reasons why you don't understand this topic, what is the reason why you are failing this topic. I think every teacher should even adopt that system of asking his or her students about the reason behind their failure towards his course, because if they try to analyze their problems, you try to see, if at all you're using this way of teaching, try to change it. If at all you're just only basically coming to class and reading and just you explain a little bit and go, obviously it becomes very, very hard. But then if you try to know their problems, try to understand them, because as I said, there are students who understand their fellow students more than the teacher. So if you realize that in some of the students, I believe dividing the class, giving them assignment to go home and bring, because one thing, I love giving tests. When I am on questions, my students know that very well in me. I love giving tests and assignment, and I force you to learn, because I want every student to believe that education, because the only thing that some of the people boast is like, it's my right to education. Yes, it is your right to education, but your responsibility is to execute all your duties. That is what that it takes to be a student. Likewise to we the teachers as well, we the students as well. it is also our responsibilities and our rights to know the problems of the students and to find solutions to that, because I believe that every problem has a solution, but also every solution has a way to be tackled.
I like that. So, in regards to all these teaching techniques and everything, as you've mentioned, not every teacher would actually go through the Gambia College. Is it because of the fee that they have to pay, the tuition that they can't basically afford? Or what do you think that might be the reason why they, some of the teachers don't actually go through college before being qualified to be a teacher?
Okay, coming back to the tuition fee, because the Gambia College was free before, but then now the college is some kind of expensive. I can say it's even expensive, and not only the college, but when we consider the tertiary institutions in the Gambia, there are many students, there are many of us. You want to go to the University of the Gambia, but you don't have the requirement. Let's look at the college those days. Some people want to go to the university, but they don't have the financial resources to go there. So they prefer to go to the Gambia College because it is free and it is a stepping stone. And they try to make up life a bit, then move to the university. But now today the college is expensive, and there's so many students who are out there. They have the requirements, they have the ability, but then the financial resource is always a problem. And when it comes to that, we really, try to be reluctant or to give up on our goals at a very tender age, at a very early age, which doesn't tell well towards our upcoming generation. And to tell you the fact, the tuition fee issue has affected the lives of many of us, because you want to go and further your education, and you're thinking of payment. And when you are a child, of your parents, and you guys are more than 3 children, 4 children, your parents are thinking of paying. And if coincidentally, like, you both are in the tertiary aspect, your father has to pay for this individual and he have to pay for that individual. Sometimes you can see that one of you have to sacrifice for the other person to go. So this tuition
I
fee
feel
has
that.
also impacted negatively in the lives of so many students who have the requirement, but still now they don't have the accessibility to get to the college. And sometimes also how people perceive it, people think that the college is for students who failed, when exactly it's not that. So if you think that like
It's
the
for
college
student
is for like,
people think it's for students who failed.
yes, because
And
sometimes
why
you're
is
being
that?
underrated. If you said you're being underrated at times, because if you go and let's even look at the teaching aspect, because if you said today you are a student at the Gambia College, the first thing they said, ahana yo danga dem def teaching. Why? So you see that word, it's really been belittled. And obviously I think we are the reason why like voices of people have been heard, because most of the people who can write, who can talk, who can stand for their nation, they have been through, the hands of teachers. Teachers make them to be who they are. But then
That's
teachers
what I
are the
was going
less
to
valued.
say, because teachers are very important in the within the public sector, because they play a big part in every single child's life. So they should be respected and not be little at
You
all.
can,
So I do not agree with that. So in regards to the Gambia College, do we have any other colleges in the Gambia?
yeah, there's some colleges here in the Gambia, but then like for the Gambia College itself, the Gambia College is only one. Though we have another annex, but it's all under the same chapter. We have the Gambia College annex at Basse campus, but then it's all under the same chapter of the Gambia College.
Okay. So I'm just trying to understand why people will think if you are going to Gambia College, it basically means that you failed in life or you're a failure. Is it because it's a government owned, or is it because um if you can just try and make me understand, because I really don't understand that part of people thinking, especially Gambians, and the fact that it's a Gambian college. We should be proud that we have our own college and named it after Gambia by saying Gambia College. So it's like
Yeah.
they cherish private owned colleges better than they
Then
actually respect their own colleges.
yeah, and let's just consider like most of the time. the things that we have in our own country. We are citizens, because these are things that hurt us so much, more especially with individuals that like talking about issues affecting our own country. And when it comes to our own things, we belittle it and value other things more than our own, and which is definitely not sending a good name. Because the college, bear with me that it's today that some of the people are trying to value the college. And some of them, when you try to tell them in the first place that I want to go to the college, they will say, huh, you want to go to the college? Do you want to be a teacher? You see, they become reluctant. But most of them today, if you go to the college, you meet them there. And if they get there, they try to know that exactly what people think of the college and what it is. It's actually very different. But if you say today, I am going to the university, they term you as a big individual. And that is the fact that is happening within our society. If two individuals, this guy is in the college and this other person is at the university, they value you in the university than the college, because first one, they will think that the one in the university is more intelligent than you are or has passed more than you are, which is absolutely a very wrong concept because it's not even the reality.
Wow. Just wow. So which basically means that us Gambians, we need to start appreciating what we have, because I think this is where the issue is actually coming from. Because if you're not proud of what you actually have and respect your own, then others outside will never respect your own, because it have to come from you first. You need to show what you have and also show people this is what I have and I'm proud of it. But if you can't actually do that, then how can others actually do that?
Value that. Honestly, it really very hard. Valuing our own, I think, is the most important thing. Let's value our own, because it is our own that will forever make us proud. This is what I always keep saying. If we do not value our own, and this is the problem happening, the Gambia here, we never celebrate our own. We never valued our own till when it is too late. And it should start from now, and it should start from us. If we value it, then obviously others will value us. But if we belittle it, other people, same thing, they will belittle whatever we are belittling, and even they will do
Because
more
that's
than
what
the
we're
way we are.
teaching them.
Sure. So it's just crazy.
So now that you're still in education, are you working as well, or?
No. I am just undergoing my advanced diploma secondary. I'm not working yet. I do go for my teaching practice, but not yet qualified yet. So I'm not working. I
Okay.
am just a student. Just that I am involved in some activities, working activities.
I know that you're an actress as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, sure. I am an actress and a poetess as well.
Okay, so can you just tell me about the acting industry in the Gambia? Because I do have few people that want to relocate to the Gambia and also want to open like a acting school or an acting center and stuff like that. So if you can just tell me about just a little bit about the acting industry in the Gambia, please, because I know you will know a little bit about it.
Yeah, the acting industry in the Gambia is very, very weak, honestly. Because here, like our industry, it's weak, as I said. When it comes to having assistance from people, it's very hard. Because this is what I keep saying. It starts from what we said just not long ago, that valuing our own. If we valued our own people, our own talents, because Gambian youths are so talented. We have so many talents in us, different talents. But the problem is we don't have the support from our own people. And if you do not have the support from people, it's always hard, because when you go to acting, when you have to rehearse anything you're doing, you have to go on set for shootings. And most of the time, because just recently we finished shooting one of our movie, and there was no sponsor. Everything was done by us, we the members, we the actors, from our own directors and our own heads in our own production. But then outside there was nothing like an assistant from people, and it's always very hard to leave from here to another village to go for shootings and come back. And like the worst thing is, like,
Costing.
sometimes it's just it's costly. It's very, very costly. And all the expenditures that you spend in that, at the end, the income you will get out of that, and because the only way that you can get some resources is after launching. And come and see what happens after launching. You will get nothing, because you have to book the hall that you're going to launch the movie at. You have to prepare flyers. You have to, to be going around trying to
A
sell
lot.
tickets. But it's very, very hard to get people, because Gambia, when it comes to when they see things, they all try to embrace it. But when it comes to come and answer to our calls, it's very hard for people to answer to your calls. And this is really taking the movie industry very, very down. Because if you go to other industry, they will also complain of the same thing. But even the movie industry, it's very hard because I experienced it. We launched one of our movie in February 15, but come and see what was spent. Half of it was not even received. Nothing, absolutely. None of the actors here in that production will say that they get something out of it. And if people hear that you are acting, they think that danga am aduna aklichibir. They think that you have money. They think that the industry is paying you. But the industry can only pay if they have something in the in
Towards.
hand. But then if there is no cash in hand, then obviously nothing will work. So it's really, 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 really hard.
It's heartbreaking to hear that. So how about the government then? So let's talk about a little bit about the government. Do they actually assist students in higher education? And do they also assist the acting industry or the entertainment industry, should I say?
Okay, like we have a Ministry of Arts and Culture that participates towards the entertainment industry, but then not to that extent, because myself, I will talk from experience. I haven't get any assistance from any aspect of the government when it comes to education, when it comes to the movie industry, our production. We have never and ever received any assistance from the government, none from the industry of entertainment itself. Though, like I say, that they have been helping some of the people because they can say that they have been helping some of the people, because they can say that they cannot reach to all the people. Yes, like not reaching to all the people, but at least trying to make sure that half of their needs are being satisfied so as to ensure an easy and smooth running of the initiative. But then it's very hard to get that, because sometimes when people ask me even personally to say, like, this poetry that you're doing, this acting that you're doing, do you have sponsors to people? I said, well, no, I don't. And but then I will not sit and say I will wait till when they come and I start working. Still now, despite the hard struggle and hard things that we are going through, we still keep the button moving because we believe that if we give up, obviously it shows our weak points.
I respect you for that. I like that. So
Thank you.
how about you reaching out to the government? Can people reach out to the government to say, hey, look, this is the perfect idea that I've got. I'm talented, but the finance is the problem. Sponsor me. Can people
Yeah,
do that?
like this to get to that place, it's always hard because even the last time we were having one discussion about a particular topic, and it even went, we were having this push and pull to say, like, then why not you apply to the government and issues. But I believe that there are certain things, as an individual who is willing to assist, you should not wait for people to approach you, because there are many people who have seen the talented, the talents in the youths, but yet still you want to wait till they come to your doorstep and knock. And if that happens, you call the entire media and give it. Then obviously sometimes I question myself, are we doing in the name of cheap popularity, or we are helping for the sake of our own country's benefit? So it's always hard. And sometimes if you write, you had people saying that if you get to them, they said, okay, I will get back to you, our budgets are exhausted, so that I will get back to moving, which obviously is very hard. Like, we the youths here, we have so many talents, but when it comes to getting assistance from our own people, it's always very hard, which sometimes want to make us to give up. But then as far as nationalism is concerned, we always believe that giving up is never our aims and objectives. But then it's hard.
Definitely
Sometimes
not.
we don't get it.
Definitely not. The reason why I just laughed there is because everyone that I ask about why don't you approach the government, they say exactly the same, and then say even if you approach the government, they will say I will get back to you, but they will never ever get back to you.
Not
So
at all.
which basically just leaves you hanging because you've got no connection. The people that can actually connect you are not doing the right thing to actually help you, which then
Honestly.
leave you standing alone, which can be very difficult. So I
Sure.
truly
Very.
understand this frustration that my brothers and sisters are actually going through in the Gambia. And because I have a lot of my subscribers asking, Rene, when we go to the Gambia, we see a whole lot of potential. We see a whole lot of business opportunities. Why can't Gambians get into this? Why can't Gambians do this? And I keep saying, well, I think it's because of finance. Do you think I'm right by saying that? And the
Honestly,
support
you are
that
you're very,
and the
very
support,
right.
yeah, and the support. If you can just basically just make that clear, why Gambians can't basically start their own businesses, why Gambians can't do things on their own without others coming into the country to actually do it for them, and them being their workers instead of being their own bosses.
Honestly, and there's one thing, like when somebody try to come from another country to your country and try to invest on what you even have or the talent that you have, the individual end up controlling you and you will never be independent. And these are the things that really affect us. And when it comes to finance, as you said, because if at least the Gambian people try embracing, try celebrating, and try encouraging, and even to support their own, to establish issues, to establish businesses, to establish their talent, I can say, I don't know which adjective even to use, but even to establish their own talents associations, at least that will help us to move ahead. But then even the starting there, it's always very hard, because today I once said this, that yes, I have a talent, but then if you want to tell me, okay, Rohi, you are an actress, you are a poetess, you involve in leadership activities, then why not start having leadership activities or poetry activities with people? I said, okay, fine, you can talk and think that it is easy, but all those activities are being carried out by finance. You cannot just come up and start doing things and you said you're just going to call people like that. Obviously it will not work. But then the finance that you said is the biggest challenge, because without finance I don't think we can establish more, especially to implement on what we have established.
Okay. So what do you think that can actually be done in order to improve this? What help do you think the government should help, or us in the diaspora? What do you think we can do? So just anything to basically help our brothers and sisters move forward, because it really hurts me going to Gambia, seeing what I see. It's heartbreaking, because I love my country so much and I want to help. If I had the money, I will help every single Gambian, and no one will actually beg anyone for nothing. So
Honestly.
I truly want to understand how we can help, what can we do, and also, yeah, if you can just tell me that, like basically just tell us that, so that we have an understanding of what can we actually do to reduce this frustration on the Gambians.
Okay, first, as we know that talent is expensive, an individual's talent is expensive, and your talent should actually lead you to the best version of you as an individual, to the best version of your life. But then if your that talent is not known, it's not valued, and it's not even encouraged, it's always hard. Because I always say this, we need support from people, and support is not only giving the person money, because today you can give me a whole lot of money, but if I don't know how to make the best use of that, it's always hard. But then if there is financial assistance and there is also encouragement, at least feel the person of the person. Today, this is my talent. Let people feel that yes, this person is our pride, because your own thing is like your own thing should be your pride. But then if you as an individual, you are not even being valued by the people to realize that this individual is my pride, is our pride as a country, or is our pride as a continent, it's always hard. So support is the biggest challenge that we ever have, because you want to do certain things, you have the talent, but you don't know where to start. There are many talents that are even hidden, because we the individuals that are showing up our talents, we just feel like, despite the fact, despite the struggle, we have to boast up, we have to show out our talent, we have to showcase our talent, because you have to be strong-headed to be able to do certain things. But there are some people, they have the talent in themselves, But when it comes to exposing that talent, it becomes very difficult because we have seen some of the people like that, and whereby we have to encourage them that this is your talent, this is what you are blessed with. Then come on, don't wait for people to come and start saying move ahead with it. But some of the people needs that. There are many people who needs encouragement, who needs support in any different aspect that we think that can boost up the talent of an individual.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So let's just forget about the government, because I know how the government is in the Gambia. So in regards to helping the youths to basically bring out their talent and also show them to the world, basically get them prepared so that they know what they're getting themselves into. So I have a lot of people in the diaspora that want to repatriate back to the Gambia, want to basically start, let's say, an educational center, want to start apprenticeship to basically help these youths with their skills that they've got and also how to use them in the future. What do you think about that? Do you think that is actually a good thing to basically invest in the Gambia? Because I think it is, but I don't know.
Not only a good idea, but it's the best idea, because that is the only way that we can move ahead as a whole. That is the only way that we can be seen by the people. That is the only way that we can showcase what we have in us, because the inner part of us have a lot of things than even our own appearance, because sometimes not all our talents can be displayed. But then when we have people who are willing to stand by us, who are willing to show us the right direction, who are willing to show us to the world that this is what the person have. Because I don't think that there is no youth in this country who has a talent and you want to start exposing your talent from the beginning. And when people start celebrating you, you just start to give up. Obviously, if people start embracing you, you want to keep doing more and more and more. So if we have people who are willing to embrace, celebrate, and support us, that is the best thing we want. And we will keep raising the flag of our country higher, because that is our aim, to raise the flag of our country to the highest point.
Perfect. I love that. Absolutely love it. So I think you've answered all my questions, to be honest. It has just been so great. And just before I forget, you do have a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, I do.
And what's your YouTube name?
My YouTube name is Rohi Sanneh GaloGambia.
Okay, what I'm going to do then is add that in the description box so that my subscribers and my viewers can actually go ahead and subscribe onto your channel. Please, 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 guys, I would love it if you guys can boost my sister's channel. I'm begging you. She's a Gambian just like I am, and we need to grow together. We need to do this. So please, 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 once I upload this video within 24 hours, let's get her to 2,000 subscribers at least. If she can get more than that, I would truly, truly, truly appreciate it. It would just show that you guys truly love me and appreciate me by subscribing over to her channel. And in regards to what you actually do in your channel, can you just explain that a little bit more so that people know what they're subscribing onto?
Okay, to my channel right now, I posted 2 videos there. That is a poem. I wrote a poem about this COVID-19 virus, the pandemic that is going on right now. I wrote it and shoot it as a video, which I post on my channel. And also, there is another poem of mine, which I did as a poem.
I love it. I absolutely love it. You are so amazing. Amazing, amazing. So because you're so good, I just want you to give us just a little bit of that. Not too much, just a little bit, so that people would basically yearn for more and go and subscribe onto your channel, please.
Okay, so the COVID-19 piece goes like this, but then it's a mixture of languages. So let me give you this other poem that is basically only English.
Fine. Mix it your own way. Do it your own way, because you're Gambian. We love our culture, so do it your own way.
Okay. The COVID-19 piece goes like this. Today I see a world full of pain. Have people dying, crying, weeping, all because of the COVID-19. Why for make refugeum? Ahakan refugeum when our education system is jam. Hey, you, Mr. Virus, have mercy upon our education system, for I see no bright future in the new learning system introduced. Tell me, I, as a deaf person who understands nothing but sign languages and got only a radio, who will help in translating those things said on air? JU virus, for you affect not only our education system but even our Salatul Jama. And we all know that Salatul Jama afdalul min Salatul Fardi. Why tax nga ba suñu jumaa yi tëj jaamu yàlla ne teg ba foog naa ne suñu réew du tekkiwaat. But it's never a surprise to me, because the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, in the last days of this dunya, we shall see a lot of things. So may Allah the Almighty safeguard us from the hardships of this dunya. Amen. Why not? We need not to be locked up in our rooms, because it's never the solution. So let me stop there.
I love it. Absolutely love it. You're so talented. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. You need to do more of this, because it is educating us a lot. Because the first day that I listened to it or watched it, I connected with it. Like, I can't tell you how it felt. You know, I felt it. I relate to it. So I think you should do more of this. Start uploading more videos, because this will also help you a lot. And my subscribers love different things. They love good things. They love goodies. So keep surprising them, please. So I will be watching you. So I'll be stalking you on your channel every week to see what you've actually got. And I know that you're a busy person, but please try that. Just before I let you go, there's this thing that has been all over the media regarding sex tourism in the Gambia. Please, please, please. You're the best person I can ask, because you live in the Gambia. You know what's going on in the Gambia. I know what's going on in the Gambia based on social media and through word of mouth, what my parents basically are telling me, because I'm not currently in the Gambia. But please tell me what's going on in regards to sex tourism. Is everyone in part of this sex tourism industry? This whole disaster thing, because it gets on my nerves a lot when I hear people talking about sex tourism in the Gambia. Because what I always say to people is that Gambia is so small that it doesn't even fit to be an eye of Africa. So if sex tourism is basically being so talked about in the Gambia, when Gambia is so tiny, and I believe it's only a strip that basically have all these crazy bombsters and all these prostitutes and everything. But look at you. You are religious. I can tell by the headscarf. You are well educated. I can tell by the way you speak English. I can tell by the way you talk. I can tell by your knowledge, by your experience, by just the way you're communicating with me. I can tell that you are not part of that industry. So it really hurts when I hear people saying Gambia is dominated by the sex tourism industry. It hurts, because I think about people like yourself, because the country is being damaged, and when it's being damaged, it's damaging our own people as well, whether you're part of it or not. So I didn't want to make a video about this, because it's me bothering myself, but you saying it coming from you, this will basically mean a lot to everyone that's watching.
Yeah, sure. Like when it comes to the sex tourism aspect, you know, like we as individual, as you said, the Gambians, anything that we see which is not of a benefit to we as a whole, and we see people practicing it, it really hurts us so much, to an extent that sometimes when I am talking about certain issues, I become angry, and people always ask me, why are you always angry when you are talking about certain issues? Not because of my own temper, but pertaining to that topic and how people perceive it, and how we Gambians are trying to value those kind of things, living our own culture, following the other cultures, which is actually damaging our own future and our own country. Because any good thing that comes, it will not go to one individual, it is going to the Gambians as a whole. But anything bad, It is going to the Gambian as a whole. And sometimes it hurt us to hear that, people outside there say the Gambia is this, the Gambia is that, when exactly it is not that. Because we believe that this is our country. If it is damaged, then our own image have been tarnished. And when it comes to the sex tourism here, it is not even like, not even three-quarter of the not even a quarter, I can say, not even a quarter of the population, not even a quarter of the population. Because like we said, tourism itself, like tourists comes, or goes to any country for different purposes. There are tourists that goes for medical purposes, there are tourists that goes for research purposes, and there are others that goes for sex purposes. And like the sex purpose sometimes dominate the whole tourism sector. Because when that happen, if you see, sometimes you just go to some of the areas and try to see, because it's good sometimes to go to some of your areas and know what is happening there. You can know whether what people are saying is exactly existing or not. And sometimes the way people just imagine things, how they estimate it, is obviously not happening, because they would think that the Gambia itself is just a sex tourism center, which is actually not even the case. It depends to you, even the tourists coming from your country and come to our country. You think that you are here for sex issues? Come on, we would not accept it. And to all my sisters and brothers, we have to be awake. We have to be aware, and we have to be wise, because you don't expect for a tourist to come in the Gambia, despite of their nationalities. They come here, and when they're going back, they go with a bad name of you. Then come the family senior lades. It depends to us as a whole, and it should start from us by valuing our own selves, valuing our own country. Because anything that happen, or any negative name that comes out from the Gambia or out of people, okay, it should hurt us,
Guys, Gambian network. She's not under a tree, but it just decided to spoil everything right at the end. Right at the end. Okay, I'm not think
the connection is.
the connection is just playing up right at the end. But thank you anyways. I think we'll leave it to there because oh, there you are, you're back again. Yes, you can just finish off then.
Yeah, just to say, like I was saying, like it depends to us as a whole. You don't expect you as an individual being in your country and somebody from his or her country and where they're coming from, and they come to your country. When they're going back, they go with this mentality that the Gambia is a sex tourism center. It is not even sending a good name to us. And this country is not a country of sex tourism. To any individual who is trying to think that the Gambia is a center for sex tourism, then you are mistaken, because this is not a country of sex tourism, and we will never allow that. So it should start from us taking ownership and taking, working the positive aspect of our country and not for a negative aspect.
Thank you very much. This just made my day because I wanted to do a video, but I was like, I want it to come out from a Gambian living in Gambia so that she or he can actually explain this. Maybe people out there making these crazy videos about Gambia, they will get to understand, and the viewers will get to understand this, because we have so many people like Rene and Rohey in the Gambia, like so many. And most of these prostitutes or bombsters as well within the sex tourism industry are not even Gambians. They're from the neighboring countries. I've been trying to explain this, but no one is understanding. Well, most people, or should I say the ignorant people that just want to hear negativity about the Gambia. But thank you so much, Rohi. Thank you so much. I love you, and I know my subscribers will absolutely love you so much. And I will also add in your email. Do you have an email address?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. And if you want me to add your telephone numbers, well, I will, because I'm 100% sure that people will want to get in touch with you for whatever reason. I know that's coming, definitely. So please, guys, go ahead and support her on her channel. And thank you so very much for tuning in today. I truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you for watching. give it a lot of likes, and also subscribe if this is the first time on my channel, and subscribe to Rohi's channel because she needs to grow. She needs to grow, guys, and only you can do it, just like you've been supporting me. Thank you so much, and love you all. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
No problem. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome there.